Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today we're going to do a playthrough of Marvel Champions. That's right, it's been a little bit of time since I did one and I think it's time to move to our next scenario, the Green Goblin. This one is probably the most challenging one that I have played. I think it's more challenging than Ultron for sure. And I think the Wrecking Crew, although they are fun, definitely not as hard as them, as the Green Goblin. This is, I should say, the Green Goblin, what is it called? Mutant, Unleashing the Mutagen. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to play with the under attack scenario as well, because I want to play and make this as hard as possible. No, that's not really why. I just want to show you guys a different one than what it normally comes with. I think under attack is a good challenge, so let's go ahead and put that in there. We're definitely going to play with Thor since Thor just came out, and then you got to play it with Spider-Man because that's his villain. You'll also see I was able to obtain the mats. So I have Iron Man's mat. I don't have Thor. I didn't buy Thor's. I do have Spider-Man's though. I love that. It looks awesome. So we'll have Spider-Man stuff on Spider-Man's mat. I do also have the overall generic 1 to 4 player mat. You'll kind of see that in the background, but mostly you'll probably just see these mats. I have to say I really like them. They're some of my favorite mats so far. They look the nicest. They feel the nicest. I'd say even better than the Lord of the Rings ones. The Lord of the Rings ones, I like the art better because it's Lord of the Rings. But these ones, they just feel nicer. I don't know why. So, of course, we are going to play on expert mode because why would we not? So we've got our expert cards here. We've got our standard cards here. Our Green Goblin, he'll have 36 health to start with. Thor will have 14 health. Spider-Man will have 10 health, and I do have to say this is the first time I'm playing Thor, so please, if you're watching and I make silly tactical mistakes, it's because I don't really know his deck. I'm just gonna give it a shot. I did choose aggression for him because I feel like that makes the most sense, and then that means I'm balancing him out with Peter Parker and Justice. I think that makes thematic sense. And plus these two as a combo is kind of weird. One with these two, whatever. I love it. This guy, you look at what his obligation is, it's an eviction notice, okay? And Thor's is an Odin's anchor. He's being taken from being a king. You can no longer be a king. You didn't pay your rent. I love how different that is. Wonderful. Okay, I have our side schemes, which I'll set to the side. If we do draw the Shadows of the Past, one of those will come out. And I think that's it. Let's go ahead and read the little insert that gives us a little bit of a story. Then we'll read this, set up the scenario, and let's do it. Before we read, I did just want to show you guys this is what the 4-player mat looks like up top. You've got a spot for your encounter discard pile, your encounter deck, your villain area, and then the main scheme will go here. You probably won't see that much during the video, so I just wanted to show you that. It looks awesome. I'm excited to try it when I'm actually playing this with people.
Hello, heroes. Reports are in that Green Goblin is flying through New York City, dropping vials full of green gas into the streets below. The gas seems to contain some sort of mutagen agent. Civilians who have inhaled the fumes are transforming into hideous goblin-like creatures. Worse yet, these creatures immediately go into a fit of rage, attacking anyone in sight who is not transformed. There's not much time before the Green Goblin and his goblin army overruns the city. Get down there and take back New York before it's too late.
We have for setup of Unleashing the Mutagen, put a Goblin Thrall minion into play, engage with each player, shuffle the encounter deck, and advance to stage 1B. 1B states, Green Goblin has released a toxic mutagen gas in New York City. And it has a when completed effect. We'll read that when he completes it. Hopefully he doesn't. I'm going to be honest and say I really think this is the first one where I think I might actually lose, you guys. We'll see. But this can be hard. We start off with threat on this equal to 2 times the amount of players. So we're going to start with 4 threat on here already. Okay. And at 14, 7 times the amount of players, we'll go to 2A. Here we have Green Goblin, and it states, when revealed, deal 2 encounter cards to each player. So now those encounter cards, from how I understand it, are not going to be revealed until the encounter phase. So I'm just going to grab 2 cards for Peter Parker. He'll be our first player, and 2 cards for Thor. And all 4 of those, plus the 2 new ones for that encounter phase, so we're each going to be revealing 3 encounter cards at the end of our first turn. Ow. He's a 2/2, and it states here, after Green Goblin attacks and damages you, once again, this you denotes your hero. So if he damages an ally, who cares? But if he damages you, you're going to place one threat on the main scheme. And then, oh yeah, I should show you this. He has 18 health times the amount of players, 36. His level 3, just so you can see this, when we reveal it, it's going to deal 3 encounter cards per player. Ouch, you guys, that's just painful. And his attack is 3, and then the other difference here is when he damages you, he places 2 threat. Yeah, he is not going to be a cakewalk. Oh yeah, and he'll have 40 health. Oh, we'll see how we do. Odin's son, or Thor, will start off with a hand size of 5, hit points of 14. Peter Parker starts with a hand size of 6, and hit points of 10. Now, Odin's son has Worthy as his ability. Action, search your deck and discard pile for the Mjolnir upgrade and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So this pretty much guarantees that we're going to get Mjolnir into our hand. Here's our first hand for Peter Parker, and I'm really bummed we got both webbed ups right away. Oh, I love that card, but it's not a great beginning card because we don't have any good resources or resource generation yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard a webbed up, a first aid, an endurance. I'll keep one webbed up just in case, so I'll keep these 3. So I'll discard these 3 and let's draw 3 more. There we go. Here's our hand. Pretty good. 2 great allies too. Just so many expensive cards. You guys are probably built a too expensive deck for him. I was kind of hoping he would get some of his web shooters. Here we have Odin's son's hand. I'm actually going to keep it, I think, because the biggest thing I'm going to do is get this Avengers Mansion down. It's worth it because his hand size is on Thor only 4. So I want to be able to at least have 5 cards when we're in Thor's, whereas Thor. So I know, it means I'm dropping all of these. I'm going to be dropping Heimdall. I want to put Heimdall out, but you got to do what you got to do to get your board state up. Otherwise, we're just going to get overrun by goblins. Just so you know, we each have a goblin thrall that's engaged with us. It is a guard, so right now while they're on us, we cannot attack the green goblin. They have 1 scheme, 1 attack with 3 health. So I think to start us off, we're going to go ahead and get our Avengers Mansion out for Peter Parker. We've generated 1 resource here. I need to generate 3 more. I'm going to go ahead and spend that other webbed up and our 2 allies. That's brutal. That's our 3 resources there, but that will get Avengers Mansion out. What we're going to do then is we're going to exhaust that to go ahead and let Odin's son draw a card. So he'll draw, he gets Defender of the 9 Realms. Sweet, that's put into his hand. We're then going to go ahead and flip ourselves into hero mode. So now we are Spider-Man, and we're going to play for Justice. This card is a hero action. It says remove 3 threat from a scheme or 4 if you paid for this card using a mental resource. Well, we're going to use our Power of Justice that we have in our hand. That's considered 2 resources if we're playing a Justice card. Yeah, we're going to remove all 4 of the threat on the main scheme. I think that's still worth it. Finally, we are going to exhaust Spider-Man and deal a whopping 2 points of damage to this thrall. Couldn't even kill it. Thor's looking at us like, what? You can't take out a thrall? That's okay. Well, we're at least starting it. Our first step for Odin's son, we're going to do our action here. We're going to find Mjolnir. Here we have Mjolnir. This card looks awesome. It is restricted, so that means the max amount of restricted cards you can have in play per player is 2. So this will be 1 of them. He'll get +1 attack and gains the aerial trait. Yes, we're going to play that. And we're going to discard Defender of the 9 Realms to play that. Then I think we're going to have some fun. We're going to discard Heimdall. I like him. But we're going to put out Battle Fury. I think I'll wait on Avengers Mansion until next round. Because this one says play under any player's control. Yes, Thor's control, please. Max 1 per player. After your hero attacks and defeats a minion, deal 1 damage to your hero and discard Battle Fury to ready him. So that just gives him a way to ready himself more often. We'll flip ourselves to Thor mode. And you know what? What the heck? We've got 1 Avengers Mansion. I'm going to discard Lady Sif and the Avengers Mansion. And we're going to bring out Hulk makes me strong. You know, this is going to be one of the new heroes that's coming out, actually, is Hulk. So we're going to put Hulk out. Let's do some Hulk smashing, shall we? Let's go ahead and use Hulk, shall we? We're going to exhaust him, deal him 1 point of damage. He's going to attack for 3, take out that Goblin Thrall. It's like he never was there. Now Hulk, though, will have to do his response, which states that after Hulk attacks, discard the top card of your deck. And let's see what it is. It's Hercules. Oh, bummer. I can't show you guys Hercules right now. That's the physical resource. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. Sweet. Yes, please. Let's deal 2 damage to that goblin thrall that is on Peter Parker and kill him off and say, Peter, why couldn't you take out your own goblin thrall? And then from there, we'll just use Thor. He attacks for 2 plus 1 thanks to Mjolnir. 35, 34, 33. We've done 3 damage already to the green goblin. That's not going to last long because we're soon to reveal 6 encounter cards. Not 1, not 2, not 4, 6 of them. We'll go ahead and unexhaust everything and end our hero phase. Let's draw up to our hand size. So for Thor, that's 4. That's brutal. And for Spider-Man, it's 5. We've drawn up. Here is Thor's hand, and here is Spider-Man's hand. Not a great hand for Spider-Man, although invulnerability is pretty cool because you can give your hero a tough status card. We'll now move to Green Goblin attacking or thwarting. We're both in hero form, so Green Goblin will be attacking. So he will attack Spider-Man. Spider-Man's ability is that interrupt when the villain initiates an attack against you, draw a card. So we get to draw, oh yes, Web Shooter. That's already going to make up for our terrible rest of our hand. We are definitely going to defend. We do not have Aunt May yet. I need Aunt May. So we're defending for 3. Green Goblin is attacking for 2. Oh, we've got a star. That tells us that we do the ability here. It says boost. Put Goblin Spider or Soldier into play, engage with you. So he'll come here, engage with us. He's a 1/1. Unfortunately, the villain always attacks first, followed by any minions. So now that means that Goblin Soldier is going to attack us. We're fully exhausted. We're going to go down to 9 health. Over here, now the Green Goblin is going to attack Thor. Let's go ahead and use Hulk to defend. He's good for that. The Green Goblin's attacking for 2. Are you serious? Another Green Goblin. So the Green Goblin is going to come into play with us. Ooh, Thor. Thor has a have at thee as his response. After you engage a minion, draw 2 cards, limit once per phase. That's amazing. So we'll grab Hall of Heroes and Enhanced Reflexes. Unfortunately, though, this Goblin Soldier is still here. Oh, and the Green Goblin did 2 damage to Hulk. So Hulk's at 3 damage. So the Green Goblin will attack. Thor's got 14 health. He'll go down to 13. No problem. I'm sorry, you guys. It has been way too long since I've played this game. I needed to place 2 threat on here at the beginning of the villain phase. First, you do that because that could have pushed us to the next scenario card. It didn't. We're okay. There's only 2 out of the 14. But yeah, 1 per the amount of players. We're adding 2. Sorry about that. So that should have happened before the villain attacked. Now the real fun part. We get to draw 3 encounter cards per player. Spider-Man is first player, so let's do his first. We'll draw our first card for Spider-Man, and it is called Overrun. Oh, this is a great one. So this gets a total threat of 1 times the amount of players. So it's only 2 that we have to remove from there. That's not terrible. But you see this? It's going to accelerate the main scheme by 2 if we don't get rid of this. And when this is defeated, in player order, each player must discard 2 cards from the encounter deck and put each goblin minion they discarded this way into play, engage with them. Ugh. So I'll put this out next to the other scheme. Yeah, where's Jessica Jones? Oh, wait, I discarded her. All right, we have Assault. When revealed, since we're in alter ego form, no, we're not in alter ego form. We're in hero form. The villain's going to attack us. So Green Goblin will attack us. We are fully exhausted. Thor could defend for us, but I don't think that's worth it. We're going to get attacked for 2. Here's our boost. Ooh, we do get to draw a card because the villain's initiating an attack against us. So we'll draw the Interrogation Room, another somewhat useless card. But we're getting attacked for 2 plus 1. That's a total of 3 damage to Spider-Man. So Spider-Man's going to go from 9, 8, 7, 6. And because that did damage us, we're going to place another threat onto the main scheme. So that's his 3rd threat onto the main scheme. We'll then put Green Goblin back. That was card number 2. What's card number 3? Don't do it. Okay, Wicked Ambitions. When revealed, discard X cards from the encounter deck where X is equal to double the villain's stage number. So the villain's stage number, I believe, is 2. So I have to discard 4 from how I understand that. Each time a goblin minion is discarded this way, choose to either take 3 damage or put that minion into play, engage with you. Okay, so I have to discard 4 cards. Each minion, I have to decide what to do. Here's our deck. Let's start off. Okay, 1, not a minion. 2, not a minion. 3, wow, not a minion. And 4, okay, well that was really hard. I've decided to just discard all the cards. I'll take that. Hey, you know what? It's not often that encounter card misses. I will take it. Next, it's Thor's cards. Let's see, his first one. All right, we are in hero form. The villain will attack us. So once again, Goblin is attacking for 2. We'll grab a boost card. I'm going to take this undefended. We're at 13 health. We can't defend with Hulk. He's already exhausted. Oh, that's going to put a Thrall engaged with us. And unfortunately, we're in the same phase, so I don't get to draw 2 more cards. If I could, that'd be awesome. So we're going to take 2 damage. So we're going to go from 13 down to 11. And we have to place another threat on the main scheme. So now the main scheme has 4 threat. That was card 1. Let's see about card 2 and 3. So we'll flip this one. We have Master Plan. Place 4 threat on each side scheme in play. Yeah, we have Overrun out. If there are no side schemes in play, no, we do have one. So we will be placing 4. So that means Overrun has 6 threat on it. That one, my friends, is an expert card. And yes, it expertly stinks. All right, third card. The brutality will be almost over. Oh, monster. When revealed, you are stunned. If you are already stunned, take 2 damage. Nope. Thor is not stunned, but he will be now. So he's stunned, which is terrible because his attack is 3. I love to use him to attack, and now attacking is going to be useless. He's 6 health, and he has 3 attack. Wow. Wonderful. Well, Green Goblin's round 1 and the round when we move him to stage 3 are usually the hardest, so you have to expect this. Now what we have to do is manage these threats, slowly dwindle them down, and then start hammering on him again. I mean, that's all we can really do, because we've got 3 minions here on Thor, and Thor's stunned, and Spider-Man is already exhausted. I've got a ton of threat over there on Overrun as well, and I think I'm going to have to try and push through that with Spider-Man if I can. To end this round, we'll move our first player token back over to Thor. Now, you guys, you can see that I'm using non-generic tokens. I will put in the description below if you're interested in these. I love these tokens. I wouldn't want to play without them. They add a lot of color. They feel really good. They're that acrylic, similar to Arkham Horror's ones, and I really like that. So I'll put that in the description below. They did not give these to me. I bought them myself, but I really like them. So if you like how they look, you can check them out. Well, I wish I could do this a better way, but I don't know how else to do this. I'm going to have Thor attack. Doesn't matter who he's stunned. That will exhaust him. Then I'm going to discard Battle Fury. After your hero attacks and defeats a minion. Oh, I can't do that because he doesn't defeat a minion. So never mind. He's just going to be exhausted. We'll have to use this later. I was hoping to have him ready. I'm then going to go ahead and play this Hall of Heroes. It has a response. After you defeat a minion, place 1 glory counter here. It's just a generic token. And then if you're in alter ego form, exhaust Hall of Heroes and remove 3 glory counters from it to draw 3 cards. So this is an aggression card. I'm going to pay for it with my power of aggression, so I can put that out no problem. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Melee, which lets us deal 3 damage to an enemy and deal 3 damage to another enemy. So we're going to deal 3 damage to this Thrall and kill him, and then deal 3 damage to this Goblin Soldier. We spent the Enhanced Reflexes, Jarm Bjorn, and Defender of the Nine Realms. That's our 3. And that means we get to place 1 generic token onto here because we just defeated a minion. Then I think so that we can get a bigger hand, I think we have to. We're going to flip over to the alter ego form. First thing we're going to do on this side is we're going to use Avengers Mansion, and we'll draw a card, and we have Swinging Web Kick. Ooh, this gives me an interesting idea. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we are going to pay with this Great Responsibility card for our Web Shooter. Our Web Shooter will give us 3 resources that we can use 1 resource a turn. We'll put that down. We'll then go ahead and use this 1 resource to drop this Spider Tracker onto the monster. Okay, because I think we're going to try and beat this monster up. He has 6 health. That Spider Tracker, if we defeat a minion, we can remove 3 threat from a scheme. I'm then going to spend all 3 of these resources to go ahead and play our Swinging Web Kick, deal 6 damage. That will be the 6, or I should say 8 damage. 6 of them will be to this monster. That's all we need. That'll take him out, and let's remove 3 threat. As much as I'd love to do the main one, I think I've got to push through this one. So 2 and 3, we only have 3 threat remaining on our Overrun. That will exhaust our web shooter to use that resource. The card that we have left in hand is Invulnerability. I want to keep that, hoping maybe I can use that. I don't think I can have both of us in alter ego form, so I am just unfortunately going to end my turn. Whew. We'll see what happens. We made sure everything is all ready. We've readied up our cards. We've each drawn 5 for Odinson because we're on our alter ego form, and Spider-Man gets to draw 5 cards. First thing that happens in the villain phase, I'll remember this time, is we're going to increase our threat. We're going to increase it by 4 because we did not get rid of this overrun. So we have 8 now on the main scheme. Remember, at 14, it pushes to the next card. Green Goblin is going to scheme for Thor, so we'll draw, he's scheming for 2, plus 1 for 3. So now that has a total of 11 threat on it. Green Goblin will then attack Spider-Man. Because he's attacking Spider-Man and he's the villain, Spider-Man gets to draw a card. Sweet backflip! Okay, cool. We're not going to defend. We'll take it undefended. We'll flip this. Oh yeah, we have to put a Goblin Thrall engaged with us because of course. But we'll backflip for that attack. We take no damage. We are going to take 2 damage from both of these goblins. That'll knock us down to 4 threat. But you know what? That Green Goblin didn't do damage to us. I'll take it. We'll go ahead and reveal our encounter cards. This one is for Odinson, and we have the Goblin Knight. Wow, I'm just finding all the minions. It's a 2/2, 7 health. After Goblin Knight attacks you, discard 1 card from the encounter deck. If that is a Goblin minion, it put it into play engage with you. Wow. And of course, I'm in Odinson's form, so I don't get the 2 card draw because I'm not in Thor's. I'm not at Thor. Oh, we have Goblin Thrall. We've got another Goblin Thrall and Spider-Man. Yeah, I asked for minions. I'm getting minions. We'll end the round by moving our first player token back over to Spider-Man. This is getting a little brutal, you guys. We'll see if we can do this. Spider-Man has, yes, 4 health and 3 minions on him. And Odinson, he has 11 health. He's doing okay, but he's got 2 minions on him. So we'll see how we can do. To start off this round, let's go ahead and have Spider-Man exhaust the Avengers Mansion, and he will draw a card for Justice. Oh, that's a great draw. That's a great draw. Okay. I think the first thing I'm going to do is use a resource from our web shooter here, knock it down to 1, and we're going to drop this spider tracker onto that goblin soldier that has only 2 health left. And then that way what we can do is we'll exhaust Spider-Man to deal 2 damage to him. That will defeat him. And it states here, deal 1 damage to the engaged player. So the engaged player is Odinson, and it says player, so my guess is that happens even though Odinson is in alter ego form. So he'll get knocked down to 10 health. Thanks, Spider-Man. But we get to remove 3 threat, and we're going to remove the 3 threat on this overrun. Let's get rid of this. But that means more minions could come out. We're going to be revealing a total of, what did it say, 2 cards per player. So it says, in player order, each player must discard 2 cards from the encounter deck and put each goblin minion they discarded this way into play engaged with them. So I may have gotten rid of a minion, but I'll probably be putting out more. Player order will start with Spider-Man. Neither of those are goblins. Sweet. And neither of those are goblins for Thor either. Yeah, that was awesome. We're then in hero form, so it makes total sense to use the power of justice to pay for justice. We get to remove 4 threat because we can assume this is a mental resource since it's wild. That will remove 4 beautiful threat on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a total of 2, 4, 6, 7 on unleashing the mutagen. Whew. That cleared up a lot of threat. That's really what we needed. We're then going to use Invulnerability. I really like the card, but we might as well do that to put out the Interrogation Room. It has, after you defeat a minion, exhaust Interrogation Room to remove 1 threat from a scheme. I'm going to pretend that I was smart and played that before I defeated that enemy. I should have done that. And when I defeated that minion, we could have removed 1 more threat. Sorry, guys. That's just... I was planning on it, forgot to do it in that order. And then we'll go ahead and flip Spider-Man over to his alter ego form. We have his 1 resource to put out Aunt May. Thank you very much. And we'll exhaust Aunt May, and we can heal 4 damage on Peter. So Peter will go from 4 up to 8. Well, we're all just super proud of Spider-Man, and he did all of that, but he still has 3 minions engaged with him. So Odinson is going to play for Asgard for his first thing that he's going to do. Cost 1, he'll use enhanced reflexes. I'd love to have those out, but just can't pay for them. We're in our alter ego. Search your deck and discard pile for a card with the Asgard trait and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. There's one that I was looking for. Yep, here we go. Asgard. It costs 3, but it gives us +1 hand size. It's hard to say no to that. So I'm going to discard this energy, which costs 2, and this Battle Fury for 3 to put this out. And now for the rest of the game, we'll have +1 to our hand size. We'll leave this Battle Fury into our hand so we can use that later. So then it's the question of, yeah, we definitely can. We're going to flip ourselves to the Thor side. We can attack for 2 + 1, which is 3 here, and we can defeat a minion that's on Peter Parker. We'll hit this Goblin Thrall. That will take him out. That's 3 damage. That will exhaust Thor, but that also means we have a second resource or glory token on our Hall of Heroes. Yes! Come on, draw 3 cards and we get 3 on there. Then we're going to do a damage to ourselves because, of course, we have Battle Fury. We're Thor. We're going to go down to 9, and you think you can stop me? That will ready him. Whoops. And for 3 damage, we can take out another Goblin Thrall. Let's do it. Let's attack for another 3 damage. That will give us another resource on here, the Glory, and we're going to kill this other Thrall. These poor bystanders who turned into goblins didn't know it was coming. Now, as much as I'd love to attack with Hulk, I think I've been risky enough with him, and I think he's going to be a good defender so that Thor can stay in hero form. Because remember, he's only at 9 health now, and we don't have any protection players like Steve here to heal people. All we've got is a guy who's going to attack a ton, and the other guy who's trying to thwart to make sure he pays his bills. Okay, so with this, we'll drop to our hand size. We're at 5 now with Thor because of Asgard, and 6 for Peter Parker because he is in alter ego form. We have drawn up. Look at Thor's hand. We've got another Avengers Mansions, but we have a Relentless Assault. We have a Valkyrie, and we've got resource, 2 resource generators for us. Oh my gosh. Do I go short term, get an ally out? Do I go long term, go for the Avengers Mansion? I don't know. We'll see what the board state looks like after we draw for encounter cards. Here we have Spider-Man's hand. We've got another 4 Justice, great for some threat removal, but we also have 2 swinging web kicks. We could do 16 damage, you guys, with that. Oh, so many options. All right, now let's go ahead and move to the villain phase. We have a total of 6 threat right now. I'm going to add 2. That's a total of 8. I'm okay with that. Of course, I say that before I have the Green Goblin scheme. So he's going to scheme for 2, and that soldier's going to scheme for 1. So 2 for 4. 4 + 1 is 5. That will put a total of 13 threat on this scheme. You guys, 13 threat. Holy moly, at 14 it would move to the next one. You know what that means, right? We can't have this Green Goblin do any damage to Thor. So for the Green Goblin attack, I'm so glad we have Thor. He's attacking for 2. We will flip this over. Oh, it's an attack for 4. That will kill the Hulk. Oh, poor Hulk. Better come back soon, man. But that means we didn't do damage to Thor, so it doesn't add +1 threat. This this Goblin Knight is going to attack Thor. Thor will move down to 7 health, and then we have to discard the top card of our deck, of the encounter deck. And yes, it is not a goblin. If it was, it would engage Thor, which actually maybe he'd be okay with because he wants that for the additional 2 card drop. But I really don't want more minions out right now. We'll move to drawing encounter cards. This one's for Spider-Man. Oh, and it's Spider-Man's. Eviction notice. I told you he needs to pay his bills, you guys, and he can't do it. Thor's out there fighting, and Spider-Man goes, hold up, gotta pay my bills. So give this to the Peter Parker player. You may flip to alter ego. We're already there. I will do the first one. Exhaust Peter Parker and remove this from the game. So Peter Parker will be exhausted. Totally worth it to get rid of the eviction notice. Never have to see that again. Okay, then for Thor, we have a Goblin Soldier. I don't really like that, but he is going to engage Thor, which means Thor gets to draw 2 cards. Talk about power. Oh, Lightning Strike. Oh, God of Thunder. So many cards, so many good cards. And you guys, I totally cheated. When I drew 5 cards for Thor, I forgot he had Battle Fury in his hand, so I drew 5 new cards. So he should not have drawn this God of Thunder. I'm going to put that back into my deck and shuffle it. His hand size should be a total of 5 + 2, 7 now, because he drew 2 cards from his engaging a minion. So those 2 would have been the 2 cards he drew. These are the other 5 that he has in his hand. Sorry about the confusion. Well, we still have 3 minions engaged with us. Our green goblin we've hit for 3, you guys. 3 whopping damage. That's it. You can see he's a little bit of a challenge. I could ignore these minions and go for him, but first of all, some of the minions are what we call guard minions, so that means that we can't even attack them. Second of all, look at that threat. We are 1 threat away from moving to the next scheme. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. I do have some pretty good hands here, although Peter Parker is exhausted, which is a bit of a bummer. But, all right, Thor will be first player for the next round. Let's go do it. To start off for Thor, we're going to go ahead and spend these 3 resources, 2 because we're going to play an aggression card, 1 for Battle Fury because it's 1, to play Valkyrie. It says, after Valkyrie enters play, deal 2 damage to a minion, 3 instead if you pay for this card using an energy resource. Yes, we most certainly did. We will deal 3 damage to this Goblin Knight. Then we're going to go ahead and play a Relentless Assault. This one says, attack. Deal 5 damage to a minion. If you pay for this card using a physical resource, the attack gains overkill. And yeah, we've got our strength for 2 resources. We're dealing 5. 5 plus the 3 is actually 8. So we'll kill that Goblin Knight, and the 1 additional damage will go to the Green Goblin. And we haven't even attacked yet. Love it. Got rid of that minion. Oh, guess what? We just took out a minion. Let's go ahead and get another resource, shall we? And by resource, I mean Hall of Heroes. We now have 4 here. So after you defeat a minion, place 1 glory counter here. We'll then go ahead and exhaust the Valkyrie, deal 1 point of damage to her. She's going to deal 2 points of damage to the Goblin Soldier. And then we'll do 3 more damage with Thor. That's a total of 5. That will kill the Goblin Soldier. That will place yet another glory resource here. We will have to take a damage because of that stupid Goblin Soldier. Deals a damage to you when you defeat it. And we are going to flip. The reason I want to flip is look at this. We have 4 here. Next round, we can draw 3 cards, you guys. We have 2 cards in hand. I could have played Lightning Strike, but it wouldn't have been worth it. And I still have that Avengers Mansion that eventually I'm going to play, hopefully. Over here on the Peter Parker side, we'll exhaust Avengers Mansion. We'll draw a card. Oh yes, we have energy. We're going to use the 1 resource on here, plus the 2 from our strength to put out Mockingbird. That will then stun Green Goblin. So the next time Green Goblin attacks, he will fail. We're going to exhaust Aunt May again to go ahead and increase our health back up to 10. Thank goodness. We'll then flip ourselves over. We'll use this 1 resource from the web shooter and we'll discard that, plus this enhanced spider senses, and you can see that is a mental resource to play for justice, our 3rd one. That will remove 4 threat from the main scheme. So we're going to go from having, what was that, 13 to only 9. I need to grab a 1 token here. There we go. So that feels good. Finally, with the 3 cards we have in hand, we've got 2 swinging web kicks. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spend these 3 for our 3 resources to pay for this swinging web kick. We're not gonna hit that Goblin Soldier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So as Thor's taking out all those minions, we go, well, what are you doing? We're actually going for the Green Goblin. 24. Haha. But that means we spent all of this. And then Mockingbird, we will spend 1 or use her to, she'll take 1 point of damage. Gosh, I said spend her. It sounds terrible, right? You almost use them as like a resource to deal 1 damage at least to this Goblin Soldier. Oh man, I feel terrible that I said spend her. You know what I meant. The disadvantage though is I didn't defeat a minion, so I didn't get to remove threat, but we got a lot done there. Here we have our hands for our next round. 5 for Spider-Man and 6 cards for Odinson. 5 because he's in the Odinson plus Asgard for 1. Next we'll add the 2 threats. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh boy, you guys. It's likely we're going to get moved to the next card this round. And why I say that is because the Green Goblin will be scheming for 2 plus our boost because Odinson is in alter ego form. And oh yeah, adding 3, that will definitely push us to the next scheme card. Let's look here what happens when this gets completed. In player order, each player not engaged with a Goblin minion must discard 3 cards from the encounter deck and put the first Goblin minion they discard this way into play, engage with them. Well, Odinson is not engaged Spider-Man is. So 1, 2, and 3. The first one, oh, there aren't any. Awesome. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that, but we will go to 2A. And this says, as the cloud engulfs the city, those unfortunate enough to have been caught in the vapors begin to shiver and shift, mutating into hideous goblin creatures. And we have 2B. Okay, we'll lose at 22. That gives us a little space. Holy moly, we're going to put 8 on here to begin with. 5, 6, 7, 8. That doesn't really feel like we have a lot of space. The goblin creatures serve Green Goblins every command. Stop Green Goblin before his monstrous militia overrun the city. X is equal to the number of goblin enemies, including the Green Goblin. Oh, cool. So, that's right, I forgot about this. We increase threat equal to the amount of goblins in play. Now the Green Goblin will attack Spider-Man, but he's stunned, so that won't do anything. And then this Goblin Soldier will attack, and let's go ahead. I mean, Mockingbird is pretty much used for this, so she'll exhaust to deal to block that 1 damage, so we'll stay at 10 health. I think that's worth it. Now let's draw our encounter cards. The first card goes to Thor, and he gets a Goblin Soldier. Too bad he is not in Thor mode so that he can ready, or get the 2 additional cards. That's right. Oh, we have Overconfidence. All right, we're in hero form for Spider-Man. Green Goblin attacks you. If at least 3 damage was dealt by this activation, this card gains Surge. Oh, that stinks. Okay, so we'll grab the Green Goblin. We'll grab a Shadow card. Don't forget, though, Spider-Man gets to draw a card. Thank you very much. Because the Green Goblin is attacking. Oh, he gets Nick Fury. And let's see, I believe I do. Yes, I have a backflip, you guys. Perfect. So he'll attack. This puts this Goblin Thrall engaged with us. But we'll not exhaust to defend. We'll just use backflip, so we take no damage. Well, we're doing okay. We're on the stage 2 of the scheme, though. We are very close to losing with that. We still have tons of goblins out. Right now, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd be placing 4 threat on the main scheme because there are 4 goblins out. So that's something to think about now. It adds another factor. We'll move our first player over to Spider-Man. I think we'll have a pretty good turn, though. We've got, Odin's Son's going to draw 3 additional cards. He's then going to flip over to Thor, and we're going to do some damage. So let's see what we can do. To start off this round, we'll go ahead and exhaust that Avengers Mansion. We will draw 1 card, and we have Genius. We'll then spend our Interrogation Room as a resource to put out our Web Shooter. So that will give us 3 resources that we can use for 3 rounds. We'll then go ahead and use one of these resources and exhaust the Web Shooter. Also use Genius and this First Aid. That's a total of 4 resources to put out Nick Fury. After Nick Fury enters play, choose 1. Remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. And at the end of the round, he's going to get discarded. Oh, lots of options here. I kind of like the card draw. I think I'm going to go for the card draw. So we'll draw 3 more cards. Oh, actually, that is going to finish off our deck. So we'll draw these 3 cards, and that does mean we're going to have to draw an encounter card that we'll reveal later and immediately shuffle our deck. We'll then go ahead and use both the Invulnerability and Concussive Blow as resources to put out Black Cat. And I love Black Cat. First thing we have is after you play Black Cat, discard the top 2 cards of your deck and add each of the cards with a printed mental resource, discarded that way, into your hand. Let's see what we can find. We'll draw the top 2 cards, and we have Invulnerability. Oh, nice. And a Genius. So I'll get to put the Genius in my hand. Invulnerability will get discarded. We'll then go ahead and use Spider-Man to do 2 points of damage. That will knock this Goblin Soldier to 3 damage, and then exhaust Nick Fury for a total of 5 damage. That will deal 1 damage to him because we used him. That means we'll kill that Goblin Soldier, which is great, but the Goblin Soldier knocks us for 1 point of damage, so we're down to 9 health. We did just defeat a minion, so I'll go ahead and remove 1 threat from the scheme and exhaust our Interrogation Room. Thank you very much. And then we'll go ahead and attack with Black Cat. And what's great is as long as we're attacking with Black Cat, she doesn't take that damage. I love that about her. We'll do 1 damage to the Goblin Thrall. Not great, but I still feel like overall that was a pretty good turn. And just so you know, I do have an enhanced Spider Sense, and I kind of want that to cancel a Treachery. And I do have a Genius in my hand. Over here on Thor's side, first thing we're going to do is we are going to exhaust the Hall of Heroes. Spend 3 of these glory tokens. Look at how many minions I've killed. And that will allow us to draw 3 beautiful cards. We got them here. Oh, we've got another God of Thunder, Relentless Assault, and Tigra. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pay for this one God of Thunder with our genius. Yes, good old Thor being a genius. And it's really hard for me to do this, but I think it's worth it in the long term. We're going to discard Hammer Throw and Avengers Mansion to put out our second God of Thunder. Oh, yes. We're at least powering ourselves up here. We're going to flip ourselves to hero form. We're then going to spend Lightning Strike and, Relentless Assault. We're going to spend those two to put out our combat training. So now we attack for 4. We can play this under any player's control, max 1 per player. That hero gets plus 1 attack. So his attack now is 4, which I still feel like that's pretty good. We're then going to use both God of Thunders to create 2 energy resources to play Tigra. Tigra is out as well. Then what we're going to do is we're going to activate Tigra. Tigra will deal 2 points of damage, and she will deal 2 points of damage to that Goblin Thrall that's on Peter Parker and kill it. Right after she kills a minion, she would then get her response, which says she can heal 1 damage. But she has no damage now. The last thing you do is that consequential damage, so she'll take that now. But going forward, if we can kill a minion, we'll heal this 1 point of damage and then gain it back. So that's pretty cool. We can probably keep her out forever as well, kind of like Black Cat. We still have Thor here, so Thor is going to attack for 4, and our Valkyrie here will take another point of damage to attack for 2 to kill our Goblin Soldier. And this got rid of all of our Goblins. Out there, our Thor will have to take a point of damage, so he'll be knocked down to 5. But this way, when we're increasing threat, we're only going to be increasing threat by 1. We'll end our hero phase by drawing our cards up. We each get to draw 5 cards. Look at this. We've got 2 hammer throws for Thor and Thor's helmet, which gives plus 5 hit points. And we have another Nick Fury. We don't have any accelerations yet, so the only threat we have to increase by is 1, because there's only the Green Goblin out. There are no other goblets. That's the whole reason why I decided to go for that instead of going for threat reduction. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8 total threat. The Green Goblin will now attack, so we'll have the Green Goblin attack Spider-Man. He gets to draw a card, and he gets Strength. Sweet. We are going to have Spider-Man defend this attack. Oh, you know what? Oh, we've got Mockingbird. We're going to use Mockingbird, actually, for this defense. Might as well. And we'll flip this. Oh, Shadows of the Past. I'm actually okay that I don't have that right now. Mockingbird is definitely toast, but she did her duty. We thank her for her service. On this side, we have our Green Goblin attacking, and don't forget we have Nick Fury over here on Peter Parker's side. We'll actually use him to defend, and we'll flip. It's a star. Deal 1 damage to each character you control. Oh, that's brutal. So that's going to be actually, you know what? That's going to be for Peter Parker. So how this works, at least how I understand it, is the moment that you decide to defend for another player, everything turns to you. So that means Spider-Man and everyone on Spider-Man's side is going to be dealt 1 damage. That'll mean Black Cat will take 1 point and Spider-Man will take 1 point of damage. Finally, let's draw our encounter cards. This is the extra encounter card that Spider-Man has since he shuffled his deck. Hysteria. Attached to Green Goblin. Forced Interrupt. When Green Goblin schemes or attack, give him 1 additional boost card. Oh, that's terrible. Hero action, you can spend 2 mental resources to discard this. That's got to be a priority. We do not want 2 boost cards. Oh, okay. Now, this second one is still Spider-Man's, and we have Caught Off Guard. Okay, discard an upgrade or support you control. If you can't, gain Surge. We've got one here, no problem. The Interrogation Room, I like it, but it's easy to get. I think I've got 3 in that deck. So we'll discard that. Then we just have Thor's card left. Concussive Blast. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each friendly character. No. I don't want that. I'm going to have Spider-Man use his web shooter because he's in hero form. We'll spend 1 resource. I'll have to exhaust this, but we'll play Enhanced Spidey Sense. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects. Perfect. I don't want to see that happen. Well, so far this has been a tough battle, but I do have 2 Gods of Thunder out, help us with some resources. I've got some allies out finally. I think the tides are starting to turn a little bit. This we're going to need to get rid of as soon as possible or we're going to lose very quickly. I think we might have a pretty good turn this round, but I guess we'll find out. Remember, we've got to, if he gets through that scheme, we lose the game. So we've got to be careful. And when he moves to stage 3, he's going to make us draw 3 encounter cards. So it's definitely not a shoo-in, but I do think we'll be able to do some damage here. It's not often against the Green Goblin we have no minions out, so let's go ahead and hit him hard. Exhausting both God of Thunders, discarding Nick Fury. That's 3 resources for our hammer throw. We have to attack, exhaust Mjolnir, deal 8 damage to an enemy, and return Mjolnir to your hand. This attack gains overkill. Overkill doesn't matter, but what does matter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 damage. He's down to 16 health. We do have to put Mjolnir back into our hand, though. We're then going to spend this 1 resource, the Defender of the Nine Realms, to go ahead and play this back out on the table. Then I'm going to ask Spider-Man for the use of his Avengers Mansion, so we can draw 1 card, and we draw Lightning Strike. Well, we don't have a lot of minions, so it's actually okay. I'm then going to use both of the Hammer Throw and Lightning Strike as a resource to play out my Thor's Helmet. What's nice about this is it gives us plus 5 hit points, so we'll go from 5 health all the way up to 10. Just think, if we had full health, we'd be at 19 health now with that helmet. Now, I know there are a lot of encounter cards that will deal 1 point of damage to our friendly characters, so I do think I'm going to use the Valkyries up. Kind of sad, but I'm going to attack for 2, plus attack for 4, 2 plus 1 because of our combat endurance, plus Mjolnir, so that's 4, a total of 6 damage, so we're going to knock the Green Goblin down to 10 health. I am going to keep Tigra just because I don't want to do another point of damage to her. In case we draw that, she can still stay alive. Spider-Man's going to have a quick turn. We're going to have Spider-Man and Black Cat both activate, dealing a total of 3 points of damage to the Green Goblin. 9, 8, 7. He's down to 7 health. Then what we're going to do is we are going to use the Power of Justice to play our 4 Justice card, remove a total of 4 threat from the scheme card. So we'll go from, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a total of 4 threat left on the scheme. And then we'll pay the 4 resources that we have here to put this webbed up out onto the Green Goblin. So this is, it has a forced interrupt. When attached enemy would attack, discard webbed up instead and stun that enemy. So I'm doing this, and I feel okay doing this instead of using, because the other thing I do is I could use this Genius to get rid of that card that's on him. Remember that power-up effect? What is that called? Hysteria. But I'll hopefully get rid of that next round. This is just too good to pass up on. We have each drawn our 5 cards, and look at this. We have our Genius for Thor. Oh, I should mention, Thor did have to shuffle to draw, so he's going to have 2 encounter cards this round, but he has the 2 mental resources we need to get rid of that Green Goblin Hysteria, thank goodness. We'll move to that threat phase. We'll just place 1 threat token on the Mutagen Cloud, because there's only 1 goblin out. We're both in hero form, so first the Green Goblin will try and attack Thor. He's webbed up, that won't happen. He'll be stunned. Then he'll try and attack Spider-Man, and he's stunned, so that doesn't happen. And that will end the villain attacking us. We only have 1 card left in the encounter deck, and from how I understand it, we will deal that out to Thor, and then immediately I will shuffle this so we can deal out a second one to Spider-Man. We've now shuffled up and drawn one, but don't forget Thor has this one he has to deal with first. Oh, under attack. We have when revealed, each player chooses to either place 2 threat here, deal 3 damage to their hero. You know, I think we can each take the 3 damage. I don't want more than 3 threat on here. So I'm going to have to place 3 threat on here. We cannot remove threat from the main scheme because of this crisis token until we get rid of the 3 threat here. So that means Thor will go down to 7. And then Spider-Man will go down to 5. And I'll place that 3 threat. 2 plus 1. Thor's second card, he has I See You. Oh no. When revealed, Green Goblin attacks you. If you're in alter ego form, do not give it the villain. Okay, we're definitely not in alter ego form. And you know what this means? That Green Goblin is going to get 2 boost cards for this attack. As much as I like Tigra, she's going to have to defend for this. I don't want Thor to take that much damage. So he's attacking for 2. Tigra's going to defend. We have 1 boost, and that's it. Actually, for 3 damage, it's still enough to kill Tigra. Maybe I should have had Thor take that. Oh, well. I didn't, and that's what happened. We'll then go ahead and reveal Spider-Man's. We just got a Goblin Thrall. That'll be on him. Oh, why didn't the Thrall go to Thor? Well, we still have some work to do, but 7 health. We might be able to knock him down to his stage 3 next round. I'm not sure if I want to do that yet because I'm going to have to be prepared to reveal 4 encounter cards when I do so. So maybe one more round here before I push him to stage 3. Let's start off with Spider-Man. We'll go ahead and use our Avengers Mansion to draw a card, and we get the Interrogation Room. Then I think what we're going to do is spend our web shooters, that's the final resource, plus this energy to put out Jessica Jones. She gets +1 thwart for each side scheme in play. There is 1 side scheme in play, so her thwart right now is 2. We'll use her, deal 1 point of damage to her, and she's going to remove 2 out of the 3 on the under attack side scheme. We're then just going to do it, you guys. There's no time like the present, right? Using Spider-Man and Black Cat, deal the 3 damage, take out this Goblin Thrall. Then what we can do is we've got our Swinging Web Kick. So we need to spend 3 resources. We've got First Aid, Interrogation, and Endurance. That's for 8 damage. The Green Goblin only had 7 health left, so that will knock him all the way down to 0, and we've defeated his first form. Here we have the Green Goblin at stage 3. He has a total of 40 health. He still has this card. We haven't had Thor get rid of that yet. But yeah, we've got to do 40. He does have a when revealed. Deal 3 encounter cards to each player. So yeah, that's going to be 6 plus the 2 normal. So we're going to be revealing 8 cards at the end of this round. I hope you guys are sitting back and enjoying some food while we reveal all those cards. And I personally think of any time, it's going to be a good idea to jump back in to Peter Parker's form. We're still exhausted. Use Aunt May, knock ourselves back up to 9 health. And then that means next round we'll start off fully fresh and operational at 10 health because we'll be able to use Aunt May to heal ourselves. First thing Thor's going to do is use his Genius. He's in hero form. He'll spend the 2 mental to discard this. Get that Green Goblin out of hysteria. Next, we'll use Thor himself. He is going to attack for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We only need to get from 36 down to 0. Remember, that's our goal. So even if we get a bunch of minions, if I can just get him to 0, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. We're going to spend 1 of our resources here from God of Thunder to put out the John Bjorn. And this says, after your hero attacks an enemy, spend a physical resource, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Love that. And that stays out. It's another restricted card, so we can't have any more restricted cards. Then what we're going to do is we're going to spend the other God of Thunder plus the Lightning Strike and for Asgard. So it's going to empty our hand, but we're going to do a Hammer Throw. This will exhaust Mjolnir and will deal 8 damage to the Green Goblin, but Mjolnir will go back into our hand. 8 damage though, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down to 28. Maybe we can do it. Now, here's the thing. This is our only card in hand, and I'm definitely not going to discard that. I'm also going to stay in hero mode for Thor. I think I need to. If I don't, we might have some problems with both of us being in alter ego form. Here we have our hands. We have a hand of 5 cards here for Thor and 6 for Peter Parker since he is in his alter ego form. As of right now, there's only 1 goblin in play, so we'll just flip this up by 1. Plus, though, we need to remember, because we shuffled the encounter deck, we do have our acceleration token, so I need to place another threat. 2, 4, 6, we have 7 here. Our Green Goblin will then scheme for Peter Parker, so his scheme is 2, plus whatever we get with this boost, just 1, 3. So we had 7 before, we now have 10 on there. If we get 22, we lose. And then the Green Goblin is going to attack Thor, but we're going to have Black Cat from Peter Parker jump in the way. I don't want to add 2 threat, 2 threat to the scheme. And I mean, her 1 attack is great, but I think right now with everything that's going to happen, it'll be worth it. Okay, this Goblin Thrall actually engages Peter Parker because remember, we changed to him being where the activation character since he threw Black Cat in the way. And that's 3 damage. Black Cat is gone. Now the pain commences. We have our 3 cards and our 3 cards. I will go ahead and place a 4th card on top of each one of our piles here. We'll start with Peter Parker. Remember, he's in alter ego form. He gets a goblin soldier. He will get overrun, so that will get two total threat on here, and then it's going to have 2 more acceleration tokens. Great, but that increases Jessica Jones' thwart. Thank you. His 3rd card, oh my gosh, is another goblin soldier, and his 4th card we have attached to the villain. After the villain attacks, you discard the pumpkin bombs and take 2 indirect damage. You can spend 2 fists to get rid of this. It also is only a one-time use, right? Discard pumpkin bombs. So yeah, he just throws pumpkin bombs at us one time. Yeah, I probably won't do this. Okay, that was the 4 for Peter Parker. He only has 3 goblins on him. It's not terrible, other than the fact that that's going to push the scheme, remember, based on the amount of goblins in play. This is for Thor. So Thor gets a goblin thrall. Okay, he is in hero form. And we have the Have at Thee. He gets to draw 2 cards. Oh, he gets Battle Fury and Energy. That will go into his hand. His next card he has is Odin's Anger. Give to the Odinson player. You may flip to alter ego form, and you can exhaust Odinson to remove him from the game. Yes, please. I mean, I don't really want to exhaust him, but I will do that to not have to. I think the bottom one is, yeah, you're stunned. No, I don't want to be stunned. So that's removed from the game, though. That's great. And then our next one, we have a Goblin Knight. We've seen him before. After he attacks, you discard the top card of your deck, and if it's a goblin, we put it into play. And we have Concussive Blast. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each friendly character. Oh, is that every... Yeah, I believe that's every friendly character. So that includes Peter Parker. So Peter will get hit for 1 damage. Odinson will get hit for 1 damage for 6. And Jessica Jones is the only other one out. She'll take a 2nd point of damage. All in all, I feel like that could have been a lot worse. We are a little bit risky over here. Look at all this scheming we need to get through. We do have Jessica Jones, although she does have only 1 more use. Could also just use her to defend, which I might need to do. I'm going to have to decide if I'm just going to... Well, I've got to take out this Goblin Thrall, and I have a Goblin Thrall on Odinson. But if I can get rid of those, maybe I just hammer at the Green Goblin, see if I can just take them out. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to move to having Odinson be our first player. Let's start that next round. To start this round, first thing we're going to do is we are going to exhaust a God of Thunder to go ahead and put out our Mjolnir. We want that out as soon as possible. Then what we're going to do, because we have 2 minions engaged with us, we're going to spend 4 resources here, 2 from energy and 2 from the power of aggression, and we can put out Hercules. Hercules has to reduce the cost to play Hercules by 1 for each minion engaged with you. That's why I only had to pay for 4 to bring him out. I'm then going to exhaust him and deal 1 point of damage to him to do 3 damage and kill this Goblin Thrall. Now, whenever we kill a minion, we get to place 1 resource or 1 glory token on the Hall of Heroes. We'll then exhaust the Hall of Heroes, take all 3 of these to draw 3 more glorious cards. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, what do we have? We've got Relentless Assault, Defender of the 9 Realms, and Enhanced Reflexes. We're then going to spend all 4 of these cards, Relentless Assault, Defender of the 9 Realms, Enhanced Reflexes, and Melee, to put out Lady Sif. Lady Sif states, after Lady Sif enters play, ready Thor or Odinson. Finally, we're ready. Okay, then we'll go ahead and spend the one resource we have from God of Thunder to put out Battle Fury. Odinson is ready with his Mjolnir. He is going to flip himself over to Thor's side. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attack for a total of 4 damage, and we're going to take out that Goblin Thrall that's on Peter Parker. Okay, that way Peter can attack the Green Goblin. That also will drop 1 glory token on this Hall of Heroes. We'll then take 1 damage. We'll go down to 5. Discard Battle Fury because we just took out a minion to ready Thor again. And we'll go ahead and use Thor to hit the Green Goblin. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got to do 24 points of damage, you guys. That's all we got to do. We've got Lady Sif here that's still ready. I'll go ahead and use her, and we will drop a point of damage on her. She's also going to hit the Green Goblin, so he'll go down to 22. On this side, we will start with our Avengers Mansion and Aunt May. So Avengers Mansion for a card draw, Aunt May to make sure that we're all the way up to 10 health. Let's see, 9, 10, perfect. And we'll draw our 1 card. And we've got a Spider Tracker. We'll use our one resource from Peter Parker to put the interrogation room, and it says max 1 per player, so we can only have one of these. But if we defeat a minion, we can remove 1 threat. Great. We'll flip ourselves over. We have 1 thwart, just enough for us to get rid of that under attack. So we'll use that for the 1 thwart to get rid of this. Just that way we can actually use Jessica Jones to get rid of 3 from the Mutagen cloud. And I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to use her up. It's kind of sad. We'll have to discard her. But she has a total of... Well, we should have done her... Oh, no, we couldn't do her first. So that's reducing by 2 threat. And I think I'm going to do this one. So we are at a total of 10. We're now going to have to move this down to an 8. So we have a total of 8 threats still on here. Okay, this is where it's going to get dicey. We're going to do a swinging web kick. Another 8 damage. We're going to spend the Avengers Mansion and 2 spider trackers. That's our 3 resources to do 8 more beautiful damage to the Green Goblin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's at 14 health. 14 health, you guys. Can we do this? Can we hold off? I have some tricks up my sleeve with this great responsibility. When we're placing threat, we can take it as damage instead. We've got a backflip to prevent some damage. Yeah, but is it going to be enough? I don't know. We'll see. This is going to end our hero phase. We're now going to get hammered. We've drawn our hands up to 5. Look at this. We have a hammer throw, 8 damage, and another swinging web kick for 8 damage. That's 16. We only are going to need 14. So as long as we don't have those silly goblin thralls come out and we survive this entire villain phase, we have a chance. Currently, we have a total of 4 goblins out. Plus, we have 3 total acceleration. So that's a total of 7 threat that we're supposed to place onto the Mutagen cloud. And that will only put us at 15. We lose at 21, so I actually think I'm going to just take it. I was planning on using my great responsibility. No, let's do it. I don't want my health to be that low just in case something terrible happens. So we have 15 on here. We lose at 22. Villains and minions will now attack. The Green Goblin will attack starting with Thor. Thor is going to have Lady Sif defend. So the Green Goblin is attacking for 3, for a total of 5. That will kill Lady Sif. Thank you, Lady Sif. But now we have to deal 2 indirect damage from this card. And that 2 indirect damage, I think I'm going to put on Hercules. Then this Goblin Knight is going to attack for 2 damage. Thor will take that for 3. Oh my gosh. And we have to discard the top card. If it's a goblin, we put it into play. No, it's a gang up. Thank goodness. Over here, we have the Green Goblin attacking Spider-Man. He gets to draw a card. He gets For Justice. Cool. He will flip. Oh, he gets another Goblin Thrall. And that's what I didn't want, is a Goblin Thrall. It is what it is. We are going to play our backflip so that attack does no damage, doesn't hurt us. We've got 3 individual attacks here. We'll just take them all for 1 point. 1, 2, 3. We're down to 7 health. And that means we got to get rid of that Goblin Thrall before we can throw that swinging web kick. Thor is first player, so he'll reveal first. Oh, he's got a soldier. Oh, that means he gets to draw 2 cards. Let's see. What does he get? He'll draw 2. He gets Nick Fury and Heimdall. Talk about some expensive allies. And we get another Goblin Thrall for Spider-Man. Oh, it's like the Green Goblin knows what I'm doing. We'll end this round. We'll move first player over to Spider-Man. Here's the thing. We need to be able to take out both Goblin Thralls so Spider-Man can do his swinging web kick. And we need Thor to be able to, well, which he should be able to, no problem, do his 8 damage to the Green Goblin. Oh, man, if only Thor was first player, I think we could do it. Wow, it's going to be interesting to see how Spider-Man can take out 2 Goblin Thralls without the help of Thor. Well, you know what? I just realized Thor can take care of it all by himself. He's just going to go ahead and use his ability, or use his basic attack for 4. That will knock the Green Goblin down to 10. Then he'll go ahead and pay 3 resources using 1 of his God of Thunders over here, plus the strength, to do a hammer throw. That deals 8 damage, and we have to put the Mjolnir back into our hand. That's down to 2 health for the Green Goblin, all the way down to 2. And then Hercules here, totally thematic, takes him out. Well, there you have it. That was Marvel Champions going against the Green Goblin Expert Mode with Thor, Spider-Man, It was tough. It was tense. It was brutal. Hopefully I got the rules right. I had a lot of fun. I have to say, this game kind of goes on ebbs and flows for me. So it's been a little bit like I didn't really want to play it a lot. And then I got Thor, and just playing this, I'm going, oh man, this was a blast. So I'm really excited for that story box. I'm hoping that will kind of rekindle that excitement about the game. I still, like I said, right now I'm super excited, but probably when I put this away, I probably won't pull it out until the next hero. I think the next hero is Black Widow. When Black Widow comes out, I think my plan is I'll have her go against the Wrecking Crew, and I'll have her go and play with somebody else so you guys can see her at that point. Regardless though, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you at the next stop.